Ayana, my people. It's your white-skinned man from the motherland. If you didn't know before, today you understand. Hey, yo.
That was good. That was good, though. Big up,
Hey, you pulled it up still.
Anyways, we got super panel. We got context panel, Bar Kunle. So today we're going to be talking about Tottenham being top of the league. It sounds a bit familiar of last year, to be fair. Is it time to respect them? Because this has just got Arsenal last year written all over it. The next test. When they play this person, that person, or when they come up against that manager or that team. Boy, conversations, man. Because we always talk about January. It's right around the corner. They always spend in January as well. Not saying it's going to be a great player or two, but it could help them for whatever they seek. We're going to be talking about Chelsea with Don and all the positives that he can bring into the next, you could call it the nightmare fixtures. And also if Raya should be dropped for tonight against Sevilla. And Man United, if they lose, what's the consequences? And we'll talk about it through maybe a rival perspective more than a Man United perspective of fans. So hopefully this should be a nice, entertaining topic for you all. And I'm pretty sure we can dive into it. But make sure, guys, remember to look out for Nobbin's channel in the description, and Kunle's on One Touch TV, and then Greasy will be up and running. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna say by I'm gonna give you next couple weeks. We'll force it. Don't worry about one way or another. Prince Andrew.
You didn't even see the message I just sent you, bro.
Oh, no, I haven't, because you're just wait. Let me check. Oh yeah. The template. Okay, we can improve that. We'll chat afterwards. But guys, make sure you smash the like button. Obviously joined by Mr. Tyrone Nobbins himself as well, alongside Oyana people, and obviously Mr. Greasy Don, who's there every week. What are you guys saying, man?
We better win. End of. If we don't win, Ten Hag, we're going for a bald UFC fight.
A what?
A bald UFC fight.
You and who? Don?
Me and Ten Hag.
Oh, I thought you said Don. I was like, Don ain't bald.
No, Don ain't bald. Don's hairline's intact. But yeah, we better win tonight. No excuses. Manchester United need to beat Copenhagen. If not, we're out of the Champions League. And boy, I am not going to be happy.
Hey, come on, man. I also shout out to all my people that either displaced entire FPL or making sad. And also, 100-point gang. Not many can say that. What can I say? Hey, what you saying, Nobbins, man?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me on again. And yeah, must suck not having any points in a Champions League group. Cannot relate, to be fair.
Are you winning it again, Robert? Are you winning it again this year?
We should do. Because
I like
in my opinion, we are. But should is a big difference from will. But look, we should have won it more than once by now. I think, even though Pep's won it, he has underperformed in Europe with City. So. That's the beauty of the Champions League. The best team doesn't necessarily win it, and that's why we all love it.
Yeah, Greasy, man. We actually haven't heard from you, since the Arsenal result. You must be he
was on Rivals on Sunday.
No,
I was on Rivals on Sunday.
I haven't heard.
Cass ain't heard from you. Okay.
What are you saying? I didn't even get to listen to Rivals. I was sleeping. Yeah. Was he fuming? Was you fuming?
Bro, I was fuming, bro. I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with that result. I predicted 2-1. I predicted 2-1. You know what I'm saying? We threw it away. But obviously now, out of the emotion, I've thought about it a lot more. There's positives we can take from it, and we move. It's just this week I'm actually missing the Champions League, man. I can't lie. We've got guys like Man United in there representing England. Yeah, not good for us, man. Not good for us. So next we need to make sure. Not good for the brand. Yeah, we need to make sure that we're back in there. But
after that comment, Greasy, make sure you beat us. Yeah.
Wait, Greasy, where did you get to last year?
Quarters.
And how did you do?
Quarters. We lost to Real Madrid.
Was it at the game?
Yeah.
Was Was that actually the game? You actually done all right then.
We
Shit.
lost to Real Madrid. That's the game when Frank Lampard. I don't know what formation that was. I've never seen.
Oh
that.
yeah, the
For
madness.
like 10 minutes, isn't it? You started off for like 10 minutes and then it went. Kai Havertz missed.
Yeah,
I remember
man
that
plays.
one.
I think you put Gallagher striker or something mad.
Or something mad, bro. Like Gallagher striker. You had Kante right wing. You had a madness, bro. The pitch was mad, like. Yeah, Real Madrid done us, man. They done us.
Yeah, man. One sec. So Kunde's going to be back in a sec. I will ask how he is, but we'll wait on that part. What we saying, man? We're going to start with Tottenham. Let's get the other news out before we talk about anything that's going to get us talking and arguing and all this kind of stuff. Tottenham's top of the league, Nobbins. Do they? Are we hoping they're going to capitulate, or are they going to capitulate?
I think capitulate is probably too strong a word. I still think they'll finish fourth, which is really good for Spurs. I think that most Spurs fans would, bite your hand off at, fourth place before a ball was kicked. But if the question is, are they going to be in a genuine title race, with sort of like the last 5, 6, 7 games to go, I would be very, very surprised. I think that Spurs are, they've been fantastic. They're one of the best teams to watch this season, and they have been the best team in the Premier League so far this season. But I think that they have been helped a bit by the fact that there is obviously no European football for them, and I just don't know whether the quality of their squad is going to be able to sustain their levels over the course of the entire season. Whilst I do think that they have been very exciting this season, I think there are still a fair few deficiencies in that team if you take out certain key players. I think that maybe next season, the season after, with another couple of transfer windows, maybe then we can have a conversation about properly challenging for the league title. But I would be very, very surprised if sort of like come, let's say game week 19, for example, that they are still so either top or within like sort of like 3 to 5 points of top. But I really rate what Ange has done so far this season. I really rate what Spurs are this season. And I think if you are a Spurs fan, I don't even know if you are really having any genuine thoughts of title races. I think you're just enjoying the ride because before the start of the season...
Deji is, bro. Big up Deji. But he's on the title race of his own.
He's in a title race of his own every year, man. You know what? Have you seen the boys? Have you ever seen the boys? No. Have you seen it, Ty?
Yeah. I've seen the boys.
There's one character, he's a ninja character, and basically in his power, he's got all these like anime cartoon characters running around in his head and thinking they're actually there. That's Deji.
He's Black Noir.
Yeah.
Dark Noir.
He was like, this is what he said. He was like, usually this time of the season we capitulate. This time is different. And I was like, what? We're in October. We're not even in November yet.
In October, they usually capitulate.
They're crazy with it. Oh, yeah. No, Deji. Big up Deji, though, man. It's funny.
Man. The thing is, obviously, Tottenham's not always the greatest conversation to get the crowd going, let's say, in entertainment value, but they have to be spoken about. Same way maybe Newcastle have to be spoken about, Ty, as well. Romero's looking like on form right now, probably tops the best centre-back currently this season in the Premier League if we're going overall, not in ability, just overall. Usually we see a reckless type Romero. He looks like a lot better with a new partner. And Udoji's come in, Pedro Porro, we could talk all about that. Vicario, he's settling in quite nice. He made a couple bad boy saves yesterday as well. His team's full of confidence. There's not really one. Richarlison's got 4 contributions in 6, which is, boy, is it good enough? Is another question in a bare bones. Son, that injury doesn't look like it's taking much. Yeah. Zuma was out. Højbjerg come in. Højbjerg played probably his best game of the season there, in my opinion. It's just like there's too much positives and there's not enough negatives on Tottenham. So that's why
I watched the game.
Another fact. Remember, Liverpool went injury-free in one season. Why can't Spurs do that at the same time? It's very possible.
Arsenal as well last year, pretty much. They went injury-free pretty much.
Let's not bullshit, guys. Spurs,
pretty much.
Spurs are cooking. Spurs are cooking. Like, we can't deny that, bro. Spurs are cooking, and they're in a title race, bro. They won against Fulham last night at home. Title race, challenge.
I'm not buying it.
If Spurs can stay in the mix until January, they still ain't used that Harry Kane bread, so they can bring in some new recruits and they can really go for the push,
Let's see what happens.
They should not be ignored.
Let's see what happens when it gets to February, March, because obviously they got the FA Cup to come back in January. They're going to take that serious, and then they're obviously going to see where they can go in the league. But for me, I look at it, right, and I think Andrew's done a great job. I like the way he speaks in his interviews. I like the way yesterday he came out after the game, and he was like, you know what, second half was poor. because some managers can say, you know, we played well and done this and that. He actually come out and said we were poor in the second half. And I think as much as I can give them props, I think Maddison's been brilliant. I like Udogie. I think Van der Ven's been class. Again, recovery pace last night. Pedro Porro's really settled in. Vicario made some great saves. And when you think of his debut against Brentford, he was shaky. There's a lot of positives going through Spurs at the moment. My big question for me with Spurs is, if anyone watched the game to the 90th minute last night, is that when Maddison and Son went off, the amount of chances Fulham did have at 2-0, that could have easily been a 2-2 game. Now, I know Spurs...
It was United football. It was United football in the second half.
It was poor. It was poor. Honestly, it was poor. And if I look at it, on another day, that could have been a 2-2 game, and they're fuming, you know, the Spurs fans after dropping that. So for me, I feel like for a 38-game season, and with the FA Cup, which they definitely want to take serious after going out to Carabao, can they rely on Son and Maddison to get them through the whole season? Because for me, they are the two players at the top end of the pitch that are going to get them out of trouble or going to win them games like they did last night, because it was Son and Maddison who scored. So for me, to win the title, you need a squad. Look at Man City's squad over the years. Look at Manchester United when we win it back in the day. Look at Chelsea's when they were winning it. You always have players that can come in, you can rotate and are fighting for them positions. No matter how poor Son and Maddison are, they're staying in the starting lineup every week because they haven't got that depth. And for me, when it comes to the gritty part, you know, February, March, April, May, I just think Spurs will unfortunately fall short because they haven't got the quality and depth. They're very good in terms of this season.
Wait, let me flip the switch. Out of all our teams, the team that spends the most in January is typically Spurs, whether it's an obligation to buy or just a buy in general. They do spend. They actually, it's rumored that they will have again 60 to 100 million this time.
They have to spend that because the drop off too big from Maddison and Son. It's too
yeah, but if they're still in the mix come them times, why can't they push on?
So
that's on the owners then to prove that they want to.
This is what I say, yeah, in respect to Spurs, right, and everything that's going on. The same way we put Liverpool in the same breath of winning the league if they go by a DM, there's no we can't put that, we can't flip that out. It sounds like more of a thing that we know for Spurs to absolutely drop off and not be there, rather than what if they do go spend correctly in January and all of a sudden they have got depth there. They have a.
If you look at Liverpool, Cass, they've got 5 attackers compared to Spurs with 3. You could say with Brennan Johnson.
Yeah,
if Liverpool go and spend in January and Tottenham still go and spend, Liverpool's squad is still going to be better than.
No. I understand that, but Liverpool need a big squad to go and compete in all areas for what they want to achieve this year. Tottenham's area of achievement this year, let's be realistic, is probably top 4 and securing themselves
that's a good season. Top 4 is a great season.
Yeah. But I'm just saying they can go and spend in January, and all of a sudden they've got cover in attack and mid. They've got cover maybe in an area that they lack in maybe centre back, and then all of a sudden we're having another conversation like shit. If you're going to throw an if on Liverpool doing it, getting a DM, if you're going to throw an if that Man United might get a backup centre back, if you're going to throw an if that Ivan Toney might go to Arsenal, then we have to throw the if on Tottenham as well. Because if they are in and around the mix and sustaining, remember, we forget one major factor, which this is where I think Chelsea's probably a major part in this game. I think they still got, I think Chelsea's got a say in this as well at some point. Not right now, but they will.
What kind of say?
One game a week, that kind of say. That's the difference. You don't have to play Europa League. You don't.
Even about for Champions League spots.
Yeah, obviously for Champions League spots. I'm not gonna put them in Man City conversation. That's the. You know what? As much as I hate Man City, Liverpool, that's disrespect to Man City. Let's be honest. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and start disrespecting that.
You see, the thing is though, yeah, with Spurs, the scary part, bro, is the fact that Ange has got a good talent ID. Do you get what I'm saying? So this guy don't even need no 200 million, 300 million. We might find ourselves in a situation
what
here.
What are you basing that off? I'm basing it off the research that I did on him. He found Mitoma. He's the one that wanted Mitoma at Celtic before he went Brighton. And obviously we know Brighton have a good recruitment network, right? So putting 2 and 2 together, this guy must have good talent ID. Do you know
That's
what I'm
saying? It's actually Paratici and a new recruitment department that they've got. They literally got. I'm pretty sure they got a new technical director in the summer. That's helping. They got a new data analyst.
He left now, isn't it?
They literally hired a very good data analyst, which I was hearing yesterday on Space.
And the bus case.
The recruitment team is folded a little bit. Levy's conceded control, and Paratici's the one that's actually been
doing it. Doing it,
yeah.
But yeah, Ange will definitely have a say in it because they're working.
Trying to bust case right now.
I think he's been cleared. Cleared.
I think Ange will definitely have a level of control because he's gained that trust now. Do you know what I'm saying? He's had a very good start, best start for any manager that's coming, like a new manager that's coming to the league, right? Ange has got that record now in the Premier League, right? So they're obviously going to give him some level of control.
Trophy for Spurs there. Ooh.
Some level of control and saying the talent ID in it. So we might see as rivals players that we've never heard of coming in before, but they fit how he wants them to play, and that could push them on for the rest of the season. I don't think they'll win the league, but it could set them in there to be in that top 4 for sure. You know what I'm saying? But Spurs if I'm a Spurs fan right now, I'm just praying that Levy does a madness in January, innit?
Do you know what's done? Yeah, I look at it and they've got Richarlison, who I don't think, unfortunately, is just gonna be that guy at Spurs. He's gonna be a squad player. You've got Son playing up front at the moment, but obviously we know he's also suited to the left. I know they're not gonna go out and do it, but if I was a serious club like Spurs, 120 million, I'll be like, right, Ivan Toney, you come in because you can play as a striker, even though I don't think he'll go there because obviously Arsenal and other clubs want him. But that'll be a proven striker who gets you 15, 20 league goals. And do you know who else I'll go out and sign? I would go and get Pedro Neto from Wolves. And the reason I'll go and get Pedro Neto is because he can play on the left and right. Pedro Neto on the left for Richarlison, and on the right,
he's
get them too.
Pedro Neto, I'm telling you, Pedro Neto is back. That injury from 2 years ago is over. The guy can play left, right. He can take on players 1v1, create, score. Perfect age. Tottenham, go and get Pedro Neto.
If they get to it,
don't do that because Paratici might be watching this.
Hey, you get what I'm saying? Hey, relax, time. We don't want them problems. We don't want them problems. Relax yourself. So Spurs getting Tony and Neto. I beg, please. We don't need that type of wahala in our lives.
I think Pedro Neto is a perfect shout for Spurs.
We need him at Man United, bro.
We don't need any extra ammunition for Deji to come on streams and be excited and chest out. So
that one there is guaranteed more game time as well.
Do you know what? You're linked to Kunle. While we're on it, let me ask you a question. You're slightly a little bit linked to Neto. Would you take Neto as like sort of Saka?
I will bite your arm off for Neto, bro.
He wouldn't go to you, look, man. He ain't going to you. Like, he's going to want first team. This is what I find issue with Arsenal, yeah, and we will dive into that in a sec, yeah, is it's not that you can't acquire players. It's whoever wants to go over to that right wing, left wing situation. They know they're going to be second fiddle and they're going to have to fight for it. Maybe that comes down to who's got good mentality to think they're going to displace it. But no one's displacing baby boy Saka, and no one's getting through Martinelli. Let's be honest.
I don't know. Martinelli. He's the one. He's not as guaranteed as Saka is. You know, I hear what you're saying, but
I know,
more flexible.
But then you got Trossard over there, and that's naturally what he's more suited to over than the right. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see it. I don't see you going for Neto. I think you got Tony though in the bag. I'll be real.
Yeah,
I think last year confirms where Arsenal want to be in that sense. But yeah, man. Other than Tottenham, we can dive into that a lot. Go in depth. Let's move
in 2 weeks, by the way.
This is what I'm saying. Tottenham's next run of fixtures. If you want the test, their test is coming. They've got like Newcastle, they've got Chelsea, they've got Man City.
They're also losing a lot of players to the Asian games and the AFCON as well, like Basuma, Sarr, Son. Is that right?
The Asian games. Yeah. Where's Sarr?
Where's
Sarr from?
AFCON as well.
Oh, you mean AFCON?
Oh, yeah. AFCON.
I'm pretty sure with AFCON, there's a 2-week period where
Premier League has a break.
Yeah, Premier League has.
He only misses 2 Premier League games.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
January break.
Bentancur's back training as well, and it's just like he might be around to fill that gap, and they need another box to box, in my opinion. Anyways, yeah, it's bruv, I don't even want to hear it. Man.
Is he though? Is he gonna be so good?
I think about it. A Uruguayan that runs hard, by the way. He's a hard runner. He's very good on the ball. He's not a bitch. When you think of balance of Maddison, Bentancur, and Basuma, when you think that's all 3 technical players, who's winning? Who's getting the ball off them?
The little triangles, bruv. The movie.
No, but my thing is, you see with Bentancur, yeah, as much as he's a good player, like whenever someone has long-term injuries, I'm always cautious to say how they're going to return. So let's see.
He could be their Shaka. Like, do you know what I mean? Shaka was not that great, but then all of a sudden he becomes this very good player, and all of a sudden he's put on a pedestal. Same thing with Bentancur. When you think about it, it's just that 3 just doesn't sound nice at all. Like
for rivals,
for rivals. Like in terms of in the system, you don't need to be individually brilliant. You just need the system to do the work for you if you understand. So you know you would know all about that, innit? But what's it called? Moving on. Chelsea. So we're going to talk about Chelsea before we talk about Man United and Arsenal, right? Chelsea, there's a lot of positives for you. Man. There's a lot of positives for you. There's a great amount of injuries coming back for one. A lot more players are now fit. The Sassy way more fit and whatnot. That's for instance. So Thiago Silva, if he ever needs a break, you know, Malagusto, Reece James. You got. I even saw that Chilwell might be back earlier than presumed. Cucurella's on form. There's so many positives you want to pick out, even if it is just from one game. And maybe Arsenal fans might say it's just the one game, but it isn't just the one game. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. You know, people kept trying to downplay the past few performances. Oh, you've only played Burnley. Oh, you played Brighton second team.
There was a right to concern for that though.
There was. And again, I wasn't overstating at that time to say, oh, Chelsea have now turned the corner. If you guys remember what I said for me, I'll only say we've turned the corner after these next set of results. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how we get on. But you always have to take positives from those sort of results, innit? So you're right, Cass, man. You're right. I think for that game against Arsenal, we were the better team for about 75 minutes. Mentality and lack of concentration is what killed us in that game, because that game plan to press Arsenal off the park, it worked. It rattled them. And the atmosphere at the bridge, it definitely helped as well. Do you know what I mean? In that midfield, I think we won that battle and was looking at definitely more fluid than Arsenal. We weren't building up the way we usually do, but when we were building up, it was good. Even that penalty that we got, if you check the build-up play from the way Mudryk got the ball, Conor Gallagher switched it to the other side, bro, it was very good. Do you know what I'm saying? So I couldn't fault the team for the 75 minutes, but again, lack of concentration. But yeah, man, there's a lot of positives to take from that, man, because if we can do that after 4 months of working with a team that isn't even our strongest team on paper right now, playing up against Arsenal's strongest team minus Partey, is definitely a platform to build from. And Cole Palmer, this is a player that I was bigging up in the summer again. You know, he's turning up. He's doing things that I was seeing him doing at City. And he's actually getting the game time that he deserves because he's a top player. And this is one thing that I spoke to you guys about in the summer. I know we spoke about experience a lot. I agree with you guys, but I was speaking about the reality of the situation, right? These are young players that we're working with. We need to trust them. And one thing about these players, even though they're young, they've got a lot of quality. No one right now is talking about Cole Palmer being 21. There's no mention of his age. And that's because he's a good player. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think there's a lot more to come, man. I'm excited to see guys like Levy get introduced. I saw a video of Nkuku not long ago. He looks like he's strengthening his knee right now. He should be back hopefully by January. Hoping December by then he's back. So there's a lot more that we're going to see from this team.
Don, I have a question for you. I just wanted you to keep calm right now. Let me get to the end of my question first, okay? So obviously, I couldn't see, if you didn't get the penalty against us, I couldn't see you scoring for the rest of that first half, honestly. And in the second half, the Mudryk was kind of a freak situation. The actual chances you got in that game, you guys didn't take any of them. So does that worry you going forward?
Yeah, I think that's definitely why we need a finisher, man. Because if, like, with Jackson, he's not fit, man. Like, you can see how he was playing. He just had the wrist injury.
He's just shit, bro. He's shit, bro.
Nah, bro. He on the ball, he's good, man. I know his finishing ain't great, but on the ball, he's a good player.
I guarantee he ends up being left wing. He's gonna end up being
on the ball. If he was good on the ball, he would have rounded our keeper. Bro,
I know that, but he doesn't look fit to me. Like, he looks like he's a bit wary of his arm. I don't know what's going on there. He looks a bit stiff in it. Stiffer than usual.
He looks like a confidence player, if I'm gonna be honest, man.
Yeah, he is a confidence player. But you're right, Kunle. Like, in front of goal, we need to take these chances. This is why we need to go get Tony. If we don't land him, go get Osimhen in the summer or something, because we need someone that's going to be in front of goal and
just leave my Niger boy alone.
They just take that chance. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think in this game, I never expected us to break through your midfield to create those chances, because in midfield, I knew there'll be a battle in there. What I was looking at when I was speaking about your weaknesses was your flanks. I spoke about your flanks a lot. You know, Zinchenko, he got taken off at halftime. He was given a torrid time by Sterling. Ben White, again, he kept getting caught out by Mudryk on a few occasions, and Gallagher as well. So I was looking at your fullbacks as the weakness in your team. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think we controlled the game well. We got that goal quite early. We were just saying to you, break us down. Do you know what I mean? I've been on here week after week saying that when I've been watching us, we look really well drilled. And that's hats off to Poch, because everyone knows what they need to be doing. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a coach that's giving everyone simple instructions and they're following them, that's what happens. It was very hard to break us down.
It also shows to me when I look at it, two things. The players are backing Pochettino and what he's doing, which is good, because the shaky start, people were getting on his back quite early, as you know, Don. And I think it shows that they're buying into what he's doing. The fact that it was successful for 75 minutes shows that it will give the players belief that, what he's teaching us will work. And also, Kunle, my flip question to you is off the back of Chelsea, the way they set up, right, off the ball, because I was chatting to Dan Potts about it yesterday. Off the ball, Chelsea set up in a 4-4-2, and it was Gallagher and Palmer playing as like two strikers, stopping the ball, going into your midfielders like Jorginho, like Declan Rice, and you had to go flanks, had to go long. It wasn't the Arsenal of what you normally see with the fluidity. Do you think now teams are going to look at that and think, do you know what, if we set up in a 4-4-2, stop on passing through the lines, Arteta's going to have to find another way of trying to get your midfield on the ball because you couldn't get on the ball against Chelsea.
Just on that, just to add to that as well, Ty, yeah. Just before you answer that question, just to add to that, yeah, that led to Saliba and Gabriel looking shaky, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? The fact that we stopped that out in midfield.
I hear what you're saying, but I'll be quite happy if teams use the Chelsea game as a blueprint to think they're going to beat us, because I can't see. I actually not knowing what my manager's going to do with the Jorginho thing. Like, if you play that game like 10 times and Jorginho's in the team, we probably don't win the game. Do you get what I'm saying? Because the guy is rubbish. But I don't think the midfield looks the same if you just remove him. Whether it's ESR, whether it's Partey, it just looks completely different, man. So if they want to use that as the blueprint, I'd love for teams to try, because I don't see us.
You'd have been very different then.
100% I do. We were lost in the midfield.
For you, if I'm going to be constructive, I think it's a positive. The only reason being is that I like consistency. I never felt. I said Pep losing to Arsenal and that midfield situation, for that to get alerted very early on is a positive for them, because now he can figure out what needs to be done for going forward in case Rodri maybe isn't there, and he's a genius in that sense. To Pep, same way with Arteta, because it's early on and they didn't lose, they did claw it back. So that's another positive. The fact that they could come back from 2-0 down at Stamford Bridge, is the fact that now Arteta is alerted that maybe he can't trust certain players in bigger games away from home like the Jorginhos. Now he knows that shit. Like, I've got to figure out something else. So maybe Partey being in there is going to be the solution if he is around. If not, he has to set up a different way and not be so naive to the situation. Because it's highlighted so early, you know, Arteta can figure it out. I don't think anyone's can learn from that Chelsea game. I think only Chelsea can do what Chelsea did on that day.
Can I come back to you on that?
It will change again.
Can I come back to you on that? I watched Monday Night Football last night. I don't know if anyone else did, but you know, before the game, they do like an analysis and stuff with the game.
Yeah.
And Carragher was actually saying, as bad as Arsenal were, he complimented them because Arteta actually learned from what he'd done in the Man City game. Now, if you look at it, they were struggling to pay through the lines. And like we said, Gallagher, Palmer, pressing and all that sort of stuff.
We boxed him in a 4. We boxed him in a 4, innit?
Yeah, he boxed him in a 4. Are you watching it? Yes, he boxed him in a 4. Then what he done, he threw Havertz on. And he said, do you know what? Let's do what we done against Man City. Yeah. Let's go long. And
he played well, by the way. He played better than Odegaard.
Yeah, they got replaced Odegaard. He played done better than Odegaard.
Still looking for Martin. We're still looking for him.
Saka, they got Trossard, they got Nketiah around Havertz, and they were looking for that second ball. And as soon as they won the second ball, instead of having to try and pass through the lines, they're already edge of the box. So again, Arteta showing his tactical versatility by saying, you know what, Havertz, go up top, play long.
That's only the positive from Arteta for me this season is he looks like he's learned a few different tactics and at different moments in games, which he didn't. He never changed his plan, and that's good. But Don, obviously, you lot with Chelsea and the draw, as you guys have quite a young team, do you think that there's a chance that the way you drew could do more damage than good?
Nah. I don't think there's going to be a lack of mentality now going forward because of that. I think they're going to learn from it. You know what I mean? They've got the right guy to say, boys, listen, these things happen in it. Sanchez, next time, don't take that risk there. If you've got to go long, just go long in that situation. These are little tweaks that you can make. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think they're going to dwell over it. You know, it's not like we got battered in the end. We gave up a 2-0 lead. It happens. You just move, you learn from it, and then you move on. I don't think it's going to be detrimental to us going forward now, you know? So
yeah,
you know, move from this one.
The best person talking Cole Palmer is obviously you, Nobbins, because obviously he was at your team. But I did, even when I saw a glimpse of Cole Palmer, I never knew he could be this type of Cole Palmer. All of a sudden, I'm thinking young player, he's going to have a lot of game time. All of a sudden, I think he's got potential world-class talent, potential. I didn't think he did before. And also, I was thinking, obviously, he's English, the future of England. Same time as well, it's what like, position? Do you think, I was going to ask, do you think maybe Man City could have tried a little bit harder with him this season to keep him? Or do you reckon it was just always the right move and it was always down to that? Because I'm looking at what you've maybe lacked this season, and this is why Cole Palmer was backing himself.
Yeah, I think it was the right decision to sell him. I mean, partly because he didn't want to stay. So at the end of the day, if the player doesn't want to stay, there's always that hassle. But the reality is, and the harsh reality is that as good as Palmer's been for Chelsea, he wouldn't start for City. That's the issue, because let's say on the right wing, for example, you know, he's not going to start ahead of Foden, Doku, Bernardo Silva. On the left, he's not going to start ahead of Grealish, Doku, whoever in the middle. He's not going to start a Foden, Alvarez, Kovacic, Nunes, and De Bruyne when he comes back. I really like Palmer. I wanted him to stay at City. I wanted him to maybe go out on loan to somewhere like a Brighton or a Newcastle, come back, and then we see what the state of play is. But yeah, I think you've just got to be realistic. And as you know, it's like sort of like the downside of how good City are is that players like Palmer, academy players, whatever, there's sadly there's no space for them, or there's no time for them to grow. And maybe Palmer will become that player who, maybe he does become better than Doku, maybe he does become better than Bernardo, but he was never going to be able to he was never going to be given that license at City. It's the same thing with another Chelsea player like Lavia. People say, oh, it was a mistake selling Lavia and like buying him Phillips. Lavia wouldn't have had the season he had at Southampton if he stayed at City. Because he'd have been on the bench. So, because again, if we didn't have Rodri, fine, brilliant. It would have been great to keep him. But again, like, this is the thing, like, if you've got a really good first team, you've got some good academy players, if your position's already filled, then you've got to sadly say goodbye if they aren't willing to stay and, maybe have like a couple seasons of like not really playing that much. If they're like, no, I'm ready to play now. Yeah. And I rate that from Palmer and Lavia.
Is it true that he had a lot of, in Manchester, he had a lot of distractions, like the Mandem and stuff? Like, obviously moving to London was
I can tell you that
kind of breakthrough for them. Is that true?
He did. Yeah. Not even just from that, his own family.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. So, So, but I'm really happy that Palmer's doing well at Chelsea, to be honest. I had my doubts about the Chelsea signing because I still think that when I see him, I think he's best when he's at the right wing. My question mark was, well, Sterling's playing so well there, so you're going to move Sterling? But they seem to be accommodating him, to be fair, like Sterling sometimes playing on the left.
Keep him there. Chelsea need to keep Cole Palmer through the middle. Forget Jackson. Unless Bro is back. Like, in my opinion, I can't lie. I'm not.
You're saying not Cole Palmer on the right anymore?
What, Palmer as a false nine, do you want him?
I can't lie.
On the right, let him grow in that role.
No.
Yeah, man.
He's not going to play for England on the right, so he might as well develop as a middle.
When you play a certain team,
hey, tell your boy watch out.
He's not looking back at him.
He can do false nine. He can do. He can play at 10. He can play on the left, but every time I've seen him play like really well, the right wing for me is his best position.
I think
Saka ain't worried.
For this game against Arsenal, so we could create that, like I said, like me and Ty were saying, that 4, it works, but it's not going to work for every game, man. I need Cole Palmer to be an outlet for like.
It's a bit like, do you know what it reminds me of, Don? And Nobbins, you'll remember this. One sec, Kat. Nobbins, you'll remember this. 2 years ago, when you didn't have a striker, remember Foden played false nine for a while?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he can do it.
Period for certain games. But it's
a stopgap.
Really, stopgap. On the right.
I know, but just to add to that point that you made as well, about obviously Cole Palmer, the fact that he had all these players ahead of him. That's what I was saying to people when they kept downplaying the signing. They were like, "Oh, he hasn't got any Premier League goals. Oh, he's barely played for City." And I've said, like, this narrative has always been Chelsea, Man City have 2 teams, right? An A team and a B team. And Cole Palmer, bro, over the years, he's been one of the front line players of the B team. Whenever he's stepped in the Champions League, never looks out of place. Carabao Cup, he's got goals and assists in there. FA Cup, he's done the same sort of thing as well. Super Cup, he scored against Arsenal. And for me, I knew it was written from the moment he scored against Arsenal in that Shield. And then your first game against Burnley, he gets benched again. I said, nah, Palmer's got to move on, man. Because clearly, it don't matter what he does, right? He can never get into that 11. So it was never a quality thing with him. It's just a preference thing for Pep. Do you know what I'm saying? So you're spot on when you speak about that.
I need to challenge that part because I think Cole Palmer is similar to Foden in respect that he can play multiple positions and execute them very well. I don't think it matters if he stays on the right or not. I think with Foden is that point in his career where he needs to be probably more focused in a certain area of his game. Like Bernardo was used right central, but in the end he focused his game more on the right when it came down to it. Foden needs to be more focused in the center, in my opinion, this year. I don't think Palmer needs that. I'm thinking, where did Chelsea look more fluid? Where did Chelsea create the most chances and they could be more clinical? Yes. And their best front three currently for me is, and that also helps Gallagher out massively, by the way, and Enzo, because it relieves a lot of pressure. I'm not saying it's going to work every game. That's the whole point of having options. Is Cole Palmer, Mudryk, and Sterling. That's your best lineup going forward, in my opinion. And I think that's something you need to do because I don't believe in your strikers. If your striker's not clinical, what's the difference with having Palmer in the center anyways, right? He's going to invert regardless on the right. Sterling's going to be on the left, and then you have to fit in the strike all of a sudden. I think. I'm not saying he is Foden. I'm saying he can be accommodated like Foden because he can play anywhere. But I think he should be played as a false nine going forward until you find a solution or one of your strikers become clinical. I think you will destroy. I think you will destroy teams in terms of breaking down teams. A false nine is the best option to take out a centre back. Calvin Bassett yesterday, all of a sudden, if you didn't see it in Son's game, Son will drift off to the left and Maddison will go further forward, and they would literally pull him out of position.
The thing is, though, I trust Palmer in that role, innit? Because on the ball, I trust him, and outside of the box as well, he's definitely got a finish on him. I need to see him have more shots on goal, like he did against Arsenal. Do you know what I'm saying? That one shot that nearly went in, right? He's definitely got the finishing ability, but for me, it's just I've got a question mark about how he is in and around the box. Is the main thing for me. Do you know what I'm saying? When it comes to like cutting back and things like that, natural killer movement in the box, I'm yet to see it. Do you know what I mean? So don't say he hasn't got it.
No, but
there's gonna be certain games, like a lot of the teams that we play this season, bro, are gonna pretty much have a low block or like a mid to low block. Do you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna be.
Do you know what, Don?
The
perfect way, because I do hear what Cass is saying to some logic, and I think, for example, Cass, if they go to Spurs away, which is a Monday night in 2 weeks, if they done that, I understand it because Spurs have the ball. Chelsea might want to have a good shape and everything. So if he goes and does palm on the full side away at Spurs, then I get it because there's certain fixture. Do you see what I'm saying? But at home against Brentford on Saturday, nah.
No, we don't need it. Yeah,
that's how I look at it.
Yeah, maybe. I think you can mix it up. Mix it up depending on who you're coming up against. But
let me quickly. There's 560 of you in here. Please run the likes up if you don't mind, people. Like it's totally free. Don't worry. I don't charge you anything. Like, or YouTube don't. But if you don't mind, like the video if you haven't done so yet. Exit live chats. Appreciate everyone that has done so at the moment, and appreciate everyone that will do that going forward as well. As much as this super chat from Hybrid says, I told people weeks ago Havertz striker is a handful. Well, in the 2 games, even though it's a short space of it, I totally wouldn't dismiss that. I really wouldn't. It was different when he came on for City, and it was different when he came on against Chelsea.
You know what? Let me say something, bro. I've seen Havertz countless times in person. The other day on the ball, bro, he was looking a bit silky.
Brother.
I must say, he was looking a little bit silky, you know. I was looking at him like, raw.
I thought I was gonna have to purchase the shirt.
Not shy no more.
I was thinking, bro, this cheese string's moving proper today, you know. Do you know what I'm saying? And
I call him a cheese string.
He won
everything in the air. His touch was good, kept it simple, was looking for the ball. Like, look, I'm still not overly impressed because these are not the things I paid 65 million to see you. I need more. But I don't ever want to see him as that left centre mid. Like, it's clear to see that he cannot do that role. And in the false 9, he can make less mistakes. And he can link in the likes of Martinelli and Saka at best. And that's the only place I want to see him, or not at all. Either false 9 or not at all.
You bring up a good point about left centre mid because I've spoken about Declan Rice a few times. Yeah, for me, I think he can do a job in that 8. But long term, my brother, I don't think it's going to take you lot to where you need to get to in that role.
I disagree, man.
I want to ask because for me, this is where it comes down to like a preference thing, innit? And how I sort of look at my left centre mids. Yeah, for me, ideally, I want someone like a Maddison in that role. Do you know what I mean? Someone like a Paqueta. Someone that's got a little bit of flair. No, someone that's got a little bit of
not
flair.
Maddison, Paqueta.
No, bro, Maddison would work for you guys, bro.
Nah.
Maddison would work for you guys. How are you trying to turn your nose up?
Paqueta's got a bit of the up and down.
Not in that position for me.
Okay, all right, cool, fair enough, yeah. But what I'm saying is someone that's got that creative spark. Do you know what I mean? Someone that's got that attacking intent and it comes natural to them. Even if you had like a Kudus in that role.
Barella.
Kudus definitely better than Havertz in that role.
Someone like that. So for me, I can see Declan Rice, you know, doing a job in that role. I can see him being effective in that role, but I don't see him taking you up to that level. And now's not the time to be learning. He's not
bringing to the team what Xhaka did bring last year.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Even like,
no,
if you look
wait,
at
hold on.
I'll let you comment, Kunle. Yeah, it was an example where he was driving with the ball in that position in that 8 role. Yeah, Odegaard was literally in the hole. All he had to do was have a little bit of awareness and cut it back. But he just kept running, and then he just kind of zipped it off the pitch. Do you know what I'm saying?
So because of that pass, he's not going to be
I'm not saying just because of that pass, bro. I'm looking at him again. I don't. Declan Rice is not that press resistant. Yeah. When it comes to being press resistant in that second phase, bro, when you're being pressed, it's a lot different to being pressed in the first phase, bro. You get less time up there. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So for me, I don't see him taking you lot to that level where you want to get to if you're going to persist with him in that role. I think it's better as a 6. Man. I think it's better as a 6.
Look, Don, I hear what you're saying, but what you've basing that off in terms of what you've seen him do in the 8 this season, where he's only really played one game or half a game as an 8 this season. The other time
in the Prem. I'm basing it off his time in the Prem.
Yeah, but in the Prem, he's not played a lot of games as the advanced 8 in the Prem. So I get what you're saying. But in terms of what the abilities that the boy has, I believe he can flourish. It's just for Arteta to unlock that attacking threat. I believe once we start chopping Party Rice in the midfield, once we start eating Party Rice, then we're good. Because what we saw against Man City was a solid midfield.
What attributes do you think that he'll be able to bring in that role that's going to elevate you? Because we're talking about winning the league now, bro. We're not talking about trying to get top 4.
Yeah. I think he can win the ball back high up the pitch. I believe he's got a good strike on him. I believe technically he's very gifted. I don't think he gets enough credit for his passing ability as well. And I believe he's someone that's excited to grow. So yeah, we definitely need to see it more before I give my overall evaluation. But with the attributes that I believe the guy has, I think he can unlock more of his attacking threat. And as I said, we didn't really see Xhaka's attacking threat unlocked at Arsenal until the last 2 seasons. So what's to say a younger player with working with Arteta, it can't be unlocked and flourish even further. But I hear what you're saying, but I just need to see a little bit more that Party and Rice in the midfield of Odegaard. I need to see it more first.
Yeah. Here, one sec. Blaze says, because we're going to move the conversation on anyways. Blaze says, Don, Chelsea could go for Ramsdale in January from Ben Jacobs.
I don't want that. I don't want Ramsdale, bro.
Well, we're talking about Ramsdale and Raya Nobbins, man, because or even Ty. Like, there's another selection headache now because Raya is, like, let's be honest, he ain't had a great start to his career at Arsenal as of yet. The same things we blame Onana for, we can blame him for as well. Mistakes, G. Easy mistakes, bro. If you Chelsea could have slapped you 4-0.
Hey, bro, Onana's diving on the floor.
Palmer had to do.
He's been other than anything, he's not had a great start and he's been awful, bro. And now Ramsdale talking about, remember, it was only the game before the game where Ramsdale was talking about he's struggling with obviously not being in there. And then Arteta's come out and said he needs to work hard, word to Jadon Sancho, all that kind of stuff there. Bro, it's another selection headache. So do you reckon he switches up the goalkeeping situation tonight?
Look, we've all seen, we all know my manager, Dick Chris. He's lost his mind. And as much as I'm Arteta in, he's mad. He's an egomaniac. Like, logically, he needs to show us the same freaking ruthlessness he showed Ramsdale when Raya came in. Do you understand the
signing, Kunle?
I do, and this is why I understand it, because towards the back end of last season, Ramsdale was a bit shaky, and there was a lot of hold on. He was a bit shaky towards the back end of last season, and during the whole the end of the season, he had a situation with his brother. I think mental health wise, I didn't think he was 100% because of the way he even looked in pre-season. So I saw Arteta getting him in as, look, I don't want a situation where halfway through the season this guy's head's not in it. Let me fix the situation early if I have to recover in January. That's what I thought of it. But I legit thought he'd say, Ramsdale, you're still my guy. If you keep messing it up, then I'm going to bring Raya in. But he literally just randomly brought Raya in. Like, it wasn't the right time to bring him in. So the ruthlessness he showed Ramsdale, the guy that got him to second place last season, title challenge, he needs to show the same ruthlessness to Raya because he's made too many errors. For me, Raya had to do enough obvious things where I'm like, you know what? It makes sense, him being in the side. And there's not been enough. There's not been enough differences in the two goalkeepers. And the blunders in the big games of late shows that he has to go with Ramsdale. But to be honest, I wouldn't mind if he at best says, Raya, you get the Sevilla game, you're Spanish, maybe coming back home will help you could get some comfort, and then Ramsdale starts on the weekend. I wouldn't mind that, but Ramsdale has to come in this week.
Can I ask you, Kunle? Yeah,
Imagine he drops, like, tight. Imagine this. Like, imagine he drops another. Like, imagine he drops a howler in that very game, though. His confidence is gone.
And then their Champions League position at question. This is the thing. Can you afford to give people comfort because you know it's Spain, it's your hometown, or
no Arteta, madman. So
this is what we were saying. This is what we were saying to you.
It reminds me of when Mourinho was at Real Madrid and he had Casillas and then he brought in Diego Lopez, if anyone remembers him. And it was like Casillas played Champions League or League, and then Lopez played Champions League, and they were just basically alternating. But I just don't think you need to do that because at the end of the day, the defenders in front of you, Salibas, Gabriels, need to be comfortable and know what's going on around them. For me, I agree with Kunde. I've just done a video on Never a Foul's Instagram talking about it. At the end of the day, if you can drop Ramsdale for the way he's been, which is a few mistakes, but overall he's been good. Raya can hold the same corn at the end of the day because for me, he hasn't come in and proved or assured anything. If anything, we're always questioning every game. Is he going to make a mistake or is he nervous? Because even Man City, he didn't make a clear mistake. But on the ball, even if they say, it was tactical to keep the ball that long, he looked nervous. When you're watching it on TV, he looked nervous. So for me, it's even the kicking side of things that he's not been that great at, apart from when he's gone long ball to have it.
Even against Lens. Even against
Lens. Yeah, he made it. So for me, I would make it a change. Do you know one thing I am going to call out, though? I think Aaron Ramsdale, for me, does get criticised for, and partly is because his character. Because he's out there in the public domain, because he's a bit of a shouter, because he winds up opposition fans.
Wind up merchant, I love it.
Yeah, but Kunle, do you know what it does? It puts sort of the microscope on him because people hate people like that. The rival fans, they all hate Ramsdale because he's like that. So when he makes a mistake, it's like, Ramsdale. Whereas Raya just goes to work, comes home 9 to 5, cooks his tapas and chills with his missus in the evening. That ain't happening. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing about Ramsdale, man.
I hear it. He invites the pressure.
Imagine the baitest man in the club. You go clubbing and the baitest guy is always like trying to be a dickhead, and you're like, I can't wait for you to get banged out. He gets knocked out and everyone's talking about it. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of thing of Ramsdale. So for me, he needs to come back in tonight.
And one thing for me, this is why I didn't want Raya. When obviously because we Chelsea, even now, like there's still a question mark about whether we need a keeper or not long term, right?
Question mark? There's no question mark, Mr. Man.
Bro,
no question mark. After Saturday, everybody's not questioning anything, no.
Kunle, I'm a fair guy, bro. And you see Sanchez, I've seen him have good games where like his distribution's spot on, and I've seen him have games like the other day where
he loves
stop it, Don. You don't rate him like that.
No, bro, I listen, I'm not saying that I rate him like that, but I'm being fair, bro. I want to see how he gets on in the season. And we've got Petrovic, I don't know nothing about. We'll see how he gets on against Blackburn if he plays. But anyway, back to keepers, One reason why I didn't want Raya, bro, is because Kepa and Raya are both quite small for keepers. Do you get what I'm saying? I think Raya's 6 foot, 6 foot or 6'1" or something like that. And when you actually check their stats for last season, bro, long range shots that went in, Kepa and Raya are up there, bro. They're the top 2, right, from long range distance. So I didn't trust that because I'm looking at it like, we're getting rid of Kepa. This is going to be Kepa part 2 because I don't see much of a big upgrade on that one. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So when I'm hearing Arsenal fans saying that there's not much of an upgrade between Ramsdale and Raya, I fully hear it, bro, because I never really rated Raya like that, really. Do you know what I mean? Especially from long range, bro. He's going to give you guys problems.
I agree with what you said there about...
his short range passing as well, bro, is very inconsistent. That's one thing that I spoke about as well.
I agree with what you said about Raya, but I'm questioning your eyes because you first opened up saying, I don't know if Chelsea need a new keeper, but you're questioning Raya.
No, what I'm saying is... What I'm saying is, in the summer, we, as Chelsea fans, was having conversations about who we should go in for. And when people were mentioning Raya, I was saying, I don't want
better than Sanchez, though?
Bro, they're in the same. Yeah,
I don't know if they're in the same bracket. You know, I'm not gonna.
They're in the same sort of category, man. They're not nothing special. Like they're in the same tier. You know what I mean? They're both
Spanish as well.
Mistakes. Yeah, both Spanish. Sanchez, one thing I'll give him over Raya is his height. Sanchez is 6'4". Do you know what I mean? So from long range, bro, I can trust him. It's just that he's got that moment in him where he plays it like a donut. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, Raya. Ramsdale has to come in now and prove himself.
Let me ask Nobbins then. Would you drop him? I don't know. Someone said, wait.
Someone said, you, man. So just quickly. I've got to bust out. Like the video, people. Big up everyone. Yeah.
Love time. Love.
I was gonna say, Nobbins. On last point on that, would you? I saw someone say that apparently he's on paternity leave or maternity leave or something like that. Paternity leave, right?
He's back now.
He's back now. Yeah. Would you drop him tonight, or would you play Ramsdale? Like,
I think that Raya is better than Ramsdale marginally, and I think that in general you should play your better keeper. Raya has been a little bit shaky, but he hasn't been terrible. He's just had a couple of nervy moments. So I personally would just stick with Raya because I'm of the view that he's the slightly better keeper, and I think long term it's probably better to start your slightly better keeper rather than do this chopping and changing for like the Champions League. 'Cause it's not like it's they're at home against Red Star Belgrade or Young Boys. They're going away to Sevilla. It's a pretty tricky game. So I would personally wouldn't drop Raya, and I think, as I say, for the main reason of you should probably be starting your better keepers. Although just on the whole Raya Ramsdale thing, I think that I don't really. That's why I asked Kunle. I don't get the signing because I think that Raya is a slightly better keeper than Ramsdale, but I would still personally have them in the same tier. I don't think you win the league title with either of them. I don't see them as enough of an elevation, like Karius to Alisson or Bravo to Edison. So that's my sort of take.
Yeah, I personally think Ramsdale is overall better, and I don't mean through attributes. I just think he's a better leader. I think he's a better character. I think he's way more crucial to addressing him than Raya. But other than that, I think other than kicking, I don't think Raya is actually better than Ramsdale in any area. I'll be really honest. That's why he was in my better 11. Highbury Ultra says, I don't think Raya's been terrible. He's made mistakes, but he should get a run. Arteta won't fold to media pressure, and I can't watch Ramsdale hoofball. Well, that hoofball might come just down to instructions, though, sometimes. Well, yeah, maybe it's just you just need a better keeper, better than both.
Guys, is it me, or was there a period where Ramsdale was spraying balls around? Was it my eyes?
I don't think he's
at the start of his career. Was there not a period where he was spraying balls around that?
I don't.
Or am I confused here?
No, I think his kicking is not the greatest, but it's not the best at the same time. You talk about hoofball, but what's Raya been doing? He's been playing hoofball to
Ramsdale's got better short range passing than Raya though. Raya's got better long range.
Yeah.
Raya's short range. Kunle, now I've told you, watch Raya's short range passing. It's very inconsistent, bro. Very inconsistent.
No, but you see the issue with Raya for me is he legit thinks he's an outfield player. Like that's the issue. He thinks like, yo, I'm nice enough with it. Ooh. Like, brother, that's why the whole the Palmer chance even came about, because it's stupidity, like dwelling on the ball. That doesn't happen for Ramsdale, I don't think, personally.
Yeah.
But I still think Raya is a good keeper, but the pressure of playing at Arsenal seems to have got the better of him right now. And I don't know how Arteta fixes it, but I would drop him this week. Whether it's Sevilla or the weekend game, he has to get dropped.
Wait, Ryan.
What we're saying about let's have a little conversation then about Arteta's signings that he's made in the summer then, because Havertz, he obviously brought him in as a left centre mid, and it's clear to see that he's not that, and he's not starting.
No, well, I don't know if he definitely brought him in as a left centre mid, bro. Because he said he brought him in to play. No, he said he brought him to play multiple positions.
Okay, I hear that. I hear that, but he spoke about him playing in midfield, and when he first started him off, he was playing in that position. If Havertz played well in that position, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Maybe, but he also did say he can be used in multiple positions. So let's not say he brought him as a left centre mid.
Okay, that's fine. But what I'm saying is the primary position that he played him in, it hasn't worked out. And now Havertz isn't starting games. Raya, again, not much of an upgrade. So what's your thoughts on the guys that Arteta's brought in? Do you think that these guys are gonna take you all the way going forward?
Why didn't you talk about Rice and Timber and them? Why didn't you mention them?
Bro, I know Rice. Rice is doing well.
I was wondering. You made it sound like those are the only two people we signed this window. I'm just saying.
Obviously, Timber's a big miss.
Everyone, if we're talking about
Timber's
all the players he signed in.
Bro, Timber's a big blow. I'm not going to speak about Timber.
Raya's only on loan, though, to be fair. There's no obligation. It's an option. Yeah. There's only an obligation for
if they're going to send him back, they're not going to send him back.
Why not?
Yeah, you're gonna
Why
buy
not?
It, man. You did that for FFP purposes, man. You're gonna.
No, but wait, we don't have to. That's the thing. We don't have to buy him. So why? If he drops a stinker this season, no. But if he drops a stinker, why would no? But if he drops a stinker, Don, why would we sign him this season if he doesn't appear better than Ramsdale this season when he's used? It doesn't make sense for us to sign him when we don't have to.
That's fair.
We'll look elsewhere.
Yeah, man. But talking of terrible, Man United play Copenhagen tonight, and it's not No, I got a feeling that we're gonna play good football this time. Yeah, I can't lie. Look,
You should, because Copenhagen are shit.
yeah, they're shit.
Literally, bro. I said he has a feeling.
They're good on the counter. They're very good on the counter attack. Yeah, but the whole point is, this time around, you can't put anything past any teams to not do something against Man United, and you don't know what Man United's going to do. Whether it's a fluke win, play some good football but concede. You just
finally accepted it.
It's such a shit.
Hey, nah, but with context, he said they're a very good counter-attacking team, because that's one of the things he might use tonight on the reaction show. They were a very good counter-attacking team, you know, guys.
Wait, you think I'm going to accept that? You know, Copenhagen haven't scored an away goal, but outside the Champions League ever, apparently, something like that.
Ever?
Swear down.
Wait, hold on. Where they?
You know, history's being made tonight. If that's true, bro.
I mean, away in a Champions, I think against an English team or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Where they in the group right now? Where they in the group right now?
Rigged.
Bottom, surely. They drew against Galatasaray, but other than that, I think they got beaten by Bayern.
They
played well against Bayern, to be fair.
I don't even know who they've got, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, well,
I think they took the lead, maybe.
Oh, guess who they have got? They got Hoyland's twin brothers.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they got Hoyland and Hoyland.
Oh my gosh.
You can already see the headlines today, can't you?
I think that's Hoyland and Eriksen's old team as well, something like that.
What positions are Hoyland's brothers?
Mate.
No idea.
Oh, okay.
They've actually got his brothers, like his actual blood brothers.
Yeah, legit.
They're twins.
Oh shit. Okay.
Bruv, you can see a headline. Like, surely there's a headline. I don't know what the headline is tonight, but surely, with not being able to score our English team ever, the Hoyland brothers on the other bruv, something's gonna happen. I'm not saying you lose, but something happens tonight.
Cass, they won their last game, drew the game before that, lost the other 2 games before that, and then they won 9-0 before that. Like, they're not on the greatest form right now either.
Yeah.
The Hoyland scoring the 9-0.
I don't even want to hear about that part. I'm just going to ask one question to you guys, because I already know my own thoughts. If Man United do lose this game, should Ten Hag go?
No.
Oh my God.
I think Ten Hag should get to the end of the season personally, and then whatever happens, you either go again or
He's out.
Man said I need to adjust myself.
Ten Hag
Colin's only saying that because he wants more pain.
Give him to the end of the season.
If United,
because look,
I was just say, if United,
who do they bring in now though? It's the lot, bro.
Well, there's that
Graham
too,
Potter, bro. Graham
if they
Potter.
have the context of like right now, they've got players.
Hold on, Nobis. Stay there.
Wait, we just had a moment there.
Wait, what?
Well, if Ten Hag's to get sacked and Graham Potter's there available, I'm taking him. Like, just because he didn't work out for you doesn't mean he's not going to work out for me.
I like
Brother, if he can't deal with Chelsea pressure, he got to deal with Man U pressure.
No, but I think at that time,
I take off my headset, bro.
At that time, I don't think it didn't matter who came into Chelsea. Like, I think
it did matter, bro. It did. Let me tell you about that guy. You don't want that guy, bro. Yeah. Chelsea was too big of a.
He wants that guy, bro. He had
the key. Todd Bowley gave him the keys to the yard, and said, "Yo, let yourself in, make yourself some tea, make yourself some breakfast, make yourself some lunch." The guy came in there, was trying to please everyone, bro. Like every single week playing different lineups and that. Bro, it won't work. It will not work.
I don't really want to hit your club situation is always different to the next club situation. Chelsea's, and especially with Man United, there might be too much pressure for him.
Graham.
But you know what is? I actually really like Graham Potter though. That's the thing.
I like him as well. No, I really like him. I like him for England.
I'd love him
not Man United.
I wouldn't think them, but if he gets sacked, I don't. You know what it is? I think if Ten Hag loses, and ultimately if we do lose, that's us out of the Champions League for one, or you're on a stretch. You're in a must-win situation, right? But this situation, you're Old Trafford, you just got back in the Champions League, you're breaking records left, right, and center. You're on a game-by-game basis for me, because as much as I want Ten Hag to succeed, yeah, and I really, really do, and I have been backing him, but I have to look at the situation for itself, anyways. Regardless, his job's on the line through new sporting ownership, anyways. So it doesn't matter. So at this point, I'm just thinking, bro, if you lose in this situation, you're done, mate. I'm sorry, but you can't carry this team any further than it can. And unfortunately, if you can't carry a team, that means you can't carry a vision. If you can't carry the vision, you can't carry the fans. That's the way.
I hear where Cass is coming from, because, like, obviously, Man United they're nowhere near favourites to win the Champions League, yeah. But if they lose today, right, it's going to be very hard. very hard for them to obviously get out of that group.
I'm out.
They're not winning the league. They're not winning the
Let's
league.
not do this.
They're not winning the league. And obviously, like Cass, I guess you're not confident about the other cups. How do you feel about the other domestic cups, FA Cup and the Carabao?
It doesn't matter.
Retain your title.
It doesn't matter.
So you think that is your bread and butter the Champions League and the Prem? Then is that what you're saying?
No, but it's just I don't think right now there's nothing that I can go off of that gives me any hope of any time soon. Like bro, look, I understand his injuries. I understand a lot of the situation, and sometimes I ask myself, am I blindly backing him just for the sake of backing him? The thing is, I think his mind and heart's in the right place, but unfortunately, as a club, we're hurting him more than he's hurting us, and I don't like that situation, and I just don't think it's the right time. Maybe potentially. So? Yeah. Look, bro. The players are clearly letting him down, and it's easy. It's a few of them, not all of them, right? And I want him to succeed. Bro, I don't want him to ride it out and get his, I don't need his job and all his credentials to be down in the gutter just because Man United. Bro, we do that to everybody. I'd rather suffer. You know what it is? If
maybe he just wasn't good enough, though.
The way I look at it, if we're gonna suffer, let us suffer, bro, because it will only hurt the only people that we want out anyways. So let him leave. So get him sacked, because it don't matter who you're going to bring in. They're going to also do shit, because until there's a proper vision and clear plan, there's no set plan at Man United. It's going to be shit anyways. So why would I want to drag someone with credentials in the bin with me?
If it's going to be shit anyway, shouldn't you stick with him?
No.
Fuck it. Give it to McLaren, man. Give it to McLaren. Run back his Derby days, man. Run back his Derby days.
Let the ship sink further than ever before, because it will only expose what we need to expose until proper direction comes in anyways.
I guess the issue is if you do that and then you bring in another manager who signs their own players, you're going to have at Man United players from five different managerial philosophies.
I hear it, but I'd rather do what Chelsea did, yeah. And it hurt. Look, you're probably going to see the fruits now. They waited till they get the right person in charge, and they waited for Pochettino at the end of the season, right? Potter got sacked. Frank Lampard was there for a few months. I'd rather do the same thing and wait for the sporting ownership to come through and let them bring in their own guy.
Bring in Neville and Scholes or something.
Yeah, bro, I don't care who it is. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Bringing Michael Carrick, bringing anyone, bringing Steve Bruce. I don't give a shit. Bro,
you know what McLaren now?
How about Mark Hughes?
No, obviously not. But you're going to keep saying all these different names. But I'm being realistic right now, yeah? I'd rather do that and go get the right man when the people come in eventually, whoever, if it's Ratcliffe and Paul Mitchell and all them brothers there, and go get the man that they want. This is what I say. But the thing is, football's based off results and vision. You can't hear as a man.
Ginger guy in France.
One sec. Yeah, you can't. You can't, as a fan, you can't back something when you don't see the vision on the pitch as well at the same time. Because if you're going to lose, let me see a vision of what you're trying to do. Right now, you gave the Bruno captaincy to him. Right now, you didn't let us get spanked 7-0. Right now as well, I don't see football or vision that where it's going to go further. All I see is pressing and stats. All I see is that you're in transition, but everywhere else is a weakness bar beyond that. What am I seeing on the pitch? I was being told we was going to play the Ajax way. You had all the opportunity to play players and not give players. You're warranting players with shit performances with starts like Bruno Fernandes, like Marcus Rashford, like whoever else you may name. So that's the way I look at it anyways. It's like, mate, give a big Santo end of the season if that's the case, innit?
Nah, you know what? Take Graham. Man. Take Graham.
Hey, Sam will find a way with these boys. Don't get it twisted.
I'm obviously not Big Sam, but I just feel like I'd rather let the process take its process and let these lot sink the shit further down rather than letting Ten Hag suffer. I need to see vision. How can I accept another loss at Old Trafford? That's stinky, bro. Where's the standards gone? It's in the bin.
How many losses would that be at Old Trafford this season if you lose today?
Like 5 or 6.
Even a draw's not good enough, bro.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough.
They need to win, yeah, because they've lost their first 2 Champions League games.
Nah, but isn't it the manager's prerogative to convince the owners of his vision and them to give him the control to execute? Isn't it the manager's job? I'm asking the panel.
I don't know, man. It's just it's bro. We all know what the real problem is. It's definitely the players, isn't it? But at the end of the day, you still got to get the best. You got to get the best out of the players. Like, they are still human beings. They are still footballers. Like, you have to. If you're a manager, your job is to manage them. So manage them.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Cass, just to back up Ten Hag a little bit, you've got these.
Don't back him up.
No, I'm never just to play devil's advocate, innit? Just to play devil's advocate. Yeah. Let's say, like, okay, look, he's giving them instructions and they're not able to implement it. You know what I mean? Yeah, like growing up in school, you always had them kids. Yeah, like, it don't matter how much instructions you gave them and that. they just always ended up getting in trouble and
I
just
hear
getting
it,
excluded. That's what I feel like. I feel like Bruno
he-
is just a. I feel like Bruno's a delinquent, bro. He is
a delinquent. I don't know why this guy's saying Anthony, Onana, man. I'm not giving them even Rashford. Like, I'm not blaming all of them all the time. Like, but the thing is, like you said with Pochettino, why is I got the same situation with Ten Hag. Why are you still playing players that don't deserve to play? You can't tell me.
They're not respecting him. Yeah.
It's clear as day that you've had time to sort out the midfield and you haven't sorted out the midfield. You wanted Mason Mount. You didn't want a controller. Like you got Casemiro, you got your stopgap. There you go. But you could have built around Casemiro in terms of players that are going to suit him. You're playing Bruno. You gave him captaincy. You're playing Rashford after stinker. You brought up his confidence and it's shot again. Do you get what I mean? Like just little things like this. You bought Anthony when clearly a lot of the fans weren't sold on Anthony in the first place.
Yeah,
I do. No, you was. Listen, the amount of clips I was seeing going around of him spinning, doing all the tricks and that in Ajax.
I always had questions over his explosiveness. And it was.
He's a cage footballer. He's a cage footballer, bro. So it's just 11 inside pitch. He's not good.
It's just things like that. I question the manager, but I don't want him out yet because I still believe he can grind out results to where we need to be in the end to see something. That's the way I look at it because he has got evidence to back that up. But with players and everything, it's a bit hard to see what vision he has on a pitch when you're not providing balance. Like I want to see Amrabat almost balance. I want to see Amrabat and Kobe. He's an 18-year-old, but I think he could be our Bukayo Saka. He could be the guy that comes in and takes the helm and do what he needs to do. Bro, it's always down to Premier League always comes down who's got the better midfield. Always, typically anyways. Bro, I'm not trying to see Mount and Bruno in the same team or on the right-hand side. Why are you playing players? Another question I have here, which I'm going to round up on is, why do you keep playing your best players out of position? Like Bruno outright, Bruno in playing deeper, playing where he's best as a shadow striker behind. That's his best position.
So would you take Anthony out of this lineup right now?
Right now I wouldn't because we ain't got nothing else to go there. I would honestly, if I wanted my way of things, I would have Amrabat, Kobe, Mount. Yeah, but I wouldn't even mind seeing Amrabat, Kobe, and Bruno because it's balanced. You're allowed to do your shenanigans then, but then what's surrounding that? So really and truly, I just want to see football, and that's why I said if what's fit right now tonight, I want to see Mount, Mabry, Amrabat, or if not, I want to see Mount, Amrabat, and I want to see Martial in a 10 because I think we can have because his balls are feet.
Martial in a 10.
I think he can play higher because you know what it is.
That's not happening.
I look at tactics.
What?
Yeah, I look at tactics and ability. Yeah, he's not explosive enough to play up front, but Martial has been good in cameos, which I think ball to feet in the 10, back to goal. He can work it. You want to play the 10, then play a 10 there because you can do it. But I look at where Scott McTominay was playing against Sheffield United. Who can elevate that position? It's actually Martial. He can play behind a little bit further behind Højlund, and then I can have runners around him. I want to see that because guess what? They're press resistant, bro. And they can play ball. McTominay can't play ball. Bruno can't play ball. It's as simple as that. I'm sick of shit footballers, bro.
No respect for Scotty too hotty, man.
I want to play like it will be like more of a 4-4-1-1.
I just don't know if the solution is to sack him and then the next manager's he's inherited all these, players who are bought to play the Ajax way, and maybe he wants to play a totally different style, and you're stuck with Anthony on big wages, and you're stuck with all these other players on massive wages, and then it snowballs into an even worse long-term effect.
The thing is, it's gonna get to a point where it's untenable, though, man. That's the
if
thing.
it gets to that
but
point,
don't
then
you just
absolutely.
give?
But I think
Like,
you've got
what's
to at least give him
untenable
this
though?
whole season. I think.
Yes, 100%. Give him the whole season.
It's only because you wanted to stay in the role.
No, but look, no, but I just think whoever comes in next, I think it's going to create more of a mess, and they'll end the season like you guys did with the whole Lampard Potter situation. So they might as well just ride it out and find the right man to maybe change in the summer rather than chop and change.
For me,
bring in Steve Bruce or whatever.
Untenable, I'd probably say is like not getting a result today. Being battered by City again, for example, or just being played off the park by City, and you're not even looking like you're going to score or do anything during that game. Who else have you got, Cass, coming up? You got Man City, you got Copenhagen.
After that, we got Copenhagen again. We kind of got easier games.
You see these easier games, Kunle. The guy needs to be picking up W's, bro. Yeah, and better performances.
No draws right now. No draws right now. You guys
need to be picking them up.
I just want to see footballers on the pitch, and McTominay is not a footballer. Bruno's not a footballer. Mount can play football. Amrabat can play football. Martial can play football. I think to a degree, Rashford can be used as more of an outlet, which is fine. And then obviously Anthony. You know what? To be fair, against Sheffield, Anthony just done a normal, easy job. It wasn't great, it wasn't shit, but he kept it simple. I don't mind that. But I need to see supply. I need to see supply for Hoyland, and I need to see goals. Right now, we lack goals. So
Is
we'll
regular
see
done back for tonight?
I think so. Yeah. Kofi says what United needs to do is do what Chelsea did: a huge clear and find a manager who can develop the new players you guys bring in. Well, I got told he's going to develop the youth and play the youth. I haven't seen that yet.
That's what I got told too, man.
So,
and how have you, like, I don't watch the Man United, like the academy or anything, but do you not have one quality left back in that your academy that could have been advanced to the squad?
Yeah, we loaned them out. This is what I'm saying. You loaned out Alvaro Fernandez. You loaned out Gerardo. Like, come on, man. It's the only thing you got is Garnacho. Garnacho was inevitable, bro. It's like Greenwood. It was inevitable to come into the situation that it was. I can probably rant about this all day, but the fact is, he keeps playing shit footballers and unbalanced midfields. It's getting on my nerves. That's on him. This is a Dutch guy that wants to play total football that doesn't even know how to put total football on a pitch. Do you get what I mean? It's just I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I think that if it continues to get worse, as I say, like after the end of the season, and if next season there's no improvement, even with all his signings and a fully fit squad, I think that's when you properly ask the question of, right, now it's time to go because the experiment's failed. I just personally think it's a bit too early to be pulling that trigger, given the history of United's managerial situation. The fact that, as I say, there are players still there from Louis van Gaal's tenure at United. So
no, I hear it, but at the same time, I look at myself.
It's so similar to us, bro. After 2017, we had players Fari, we had players from Tuchel, we had players from Lampard, we had players from Conte. Still, it's a mix and match, and it never works, brother. It never works.
Difference is you can sell players, we can't.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the main thing. Yeah.
It's again, just to round it up, it's like, you might say it's premature, but any other big club's getting rid of their manager. So why not Man United? Do you get what I mean? It's just one of those. You need to get the best out of the group of players, even if it means a run of 10 games where you just get a W from a manager bounce. It puts us into a better position than keep on losing. So
fuck it, give the job to Jimmy boy, man. I think Jimmy should take it, to be honest.
Yeah, man.
Jimmy.
It's
Jim Ratcliffe, bro. Jimmy,
man. Yeah, no. Well, the direction he's trying to put us in, you're laughing now, but he's trying to put a sporting structure in. So, you know, you won't be laughing.
Yeah, well, let's see how much control he actually gets in it, because the Glazers, they love control, yeah.
Till then, Kaz, till then.
Yeah, Sancho is a disgrace. Look at Cucurella turnaround. Fabrizio said that Chelsea are no longer wanting to get rid in January. Sancho should get off those games. We can point the finger anywhere we want to. Sancho, whatever it is. It's just the club in total is just a mess anyways. But yeah, man, in a bit, guys, we're going to be back tonight with a gal, myself, Daps, and whoever else, and maybe Mo, maybe not. But yeah, man, make sure you like the video on the way out. Make sure you check Nobbins and Kunle's channel description below, and we'll see you later.